And hello, folks. Welcome back to Minecraft. Did a little bit of work off camera, but most interestingly, came on to see some beacons down at spawn. I know what this all is. You've got Mr. Silver. Oh, what the hell was that? Oh, hello. Ah, this is just to keep the dolphin in place. Something really jumped out for a second there, though. Hopefully that dolphin's gonna stay in place. Might want to put some walls around him. Yeah, I saw that, line of blue beacons. I'm like, what, is that a water stream? What the hell is that? No, it's a bunch of beacons. And then we got a shulker, which I'm sure that was fun bringing over from the end. Yeah. Like, it's very hard to keep dolphins alive. But, yeah, I need to go over to the end and see, like, just the massive rail line you must have done to get him teleported over here. Start boats. Interesting. I see a minecart here. I'm assuming he was in that at one point. Oh, can you? Yeah, I guess it would still have to, like, track him up there. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know what's going on here, Mr. Silverfish is on his way to get all the achievements in the game. And one of those is to get the flying effect, which you can only get off of Mr. Shulker over there, having him fire at you. And you have to have the blessing of the dolphin. You have to have a dolphin nearby, which is why those things are too very close together. I'm not sure what other effects are really stopping you at this point. I'm sure you have a lot of effects you have to get from Stew and such. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that that sign there. I wasn't sure if that was you who left that there. Maybe someone who like came by left that sign there. Like, how did we get here? Interestingly, he doesn't seem to be able to shoot out of the boat, which is convenient. Hey. Yeah, I'm glad to hear your stream is finally working. Like, it's like every stream I do, Mr. Slurp has some kind of connection issue. Yeah, glad to see you can at least see everything. Yeah. Didn't realize they had such difficulty shooting out of boats. I assume that's not... I assume they can, like, still hit out of minecarts at least, though, right? I don't know. I have not messed around with that at all. Yeah. Additionally, like, off camera, I've been busy collecting a bunch of magma blocks and filling in all this area down at bedrock level. The rose is best with the glowing arrow. Ah. Yes. Still need to light up some of these walls. Yeah, I think this looks pretty cool. I was initially considering using, like, glass, but I think this is a little neater. I can hear a zombie somewhere. Hello. Yeah, one of the reasons I was using the magma blocks is just so nothing can spawn down here. Yeah. I might put like a couple like fires underneath the magma blocks, just so it has like smoke coming up from it. Gives it a bit better aesthetic. Let's see, there's our houses. I might end up redoing this this wheat farm. I've noticed, like, for whatever reason, maybe just like chunk unloading or whatever, the some of the dispensers seem to go off and stay off while others stay on, or vice versa. So like part of this is flooded, part of it's unflooded. I don't know what's up with that. I assume it's just like coming back and leaving the area. This isn't all in one chunk. Just causes some weirdness. But you know, I figure I should be able to make a wheat farm like this, but just have, you know, a hover minecart underneath it. You're trying to get to... Yes. Yeah, let me know if you need any help with that achievement stuff. I'm impressed you got as much together as you have already. One of the things on my list is like still the Dolphin Highway, and that should make it pretty easy to collect dolphins if needed. It's interesting. Oh. Liking it from underneath. Let's see. Done anything else? Oh, also need to show off your mushroom biome that you've created. So outside, Mr. Slurp has created his own little mushroom biome right next to the little pathway over here, over to the mushroom island, the mushroom island, I should say. Yeah. I'm interested to see how you end up doing the Elder Guardian. That's gonna be a fun one to transport. Place needs more just regular mushrooms thrown about. Yeah, there's like sort of an extension to the Nether Garden. Work on some carpets over too. One of these days, I'm gonna make a proper path over to James's boyfriend's place, but I have not seen them on in weeks now. Just be, you know, nice for the future if we could all get back and forth. Oh yeah. As the title implies, Harvesting Darkness, going to be setting up our squid farm, and hopefully we can do our ground farm after that. I have showed last time I have a little section cleared out here where we'll be making the farm. Everything that's like within this cobblestone is the river biome, so we can use that. We just need to dig this all down to Y level 42. Start at 62 or 63, I believe. Also, that mushroom biome was made for the fact of our nether base was a wasteland and on fire. Yeah. That Dolphin's Grace was a little bit longer than 5 seconds, but yeah, I'm wrong. Go ahead and get some tunes on. I have playlists left up. The Deus Ex. That'll work. Wait. Oh, yeah, I guess that has a enchantment effect from the arrows. I forget that they're not just like not like torches on the ground, basically. They actually do something to their target. Yeah, because you have to have Bad Omen. Yeah, I've actually been meaning to, like, Bad Omen proof my base. It's like build a wall around it and then make like, it's like minimize the number of spawning spaces within the area. Yeah, so you have to defeat a raid and then re-get Bad Omen really quickly. Well, actually, how long does Rear of the Village last? Oh, really? I thought it was a little bit shorter than that. Yeah, I know Bad Omen lasts for like over an hour. So, no rush after you get that. So much stone. Like, my bulk storage cannot fit all of this stone. Actually, just need to make more chests for just this. I don't want to waste it. Like, main reason I haven't made a cobble farm is I have so much damn stone already. Seems dumb. Make even more. Don't go looking for any spruce planks near your ponds. I'm pretty sure, like, the raid doesn't start till you're in, like, within 30 meters of a village. So, as long as you're not, like, flying within a short distance of all my villagers, you should be good. Interesting. Digging a trench for the squid farm. Which, this has to go down to Y level 42. Got a little ways to go. Gotta harvest that darkness, that ink sac. Not that I like need a whole lot of ink sacs, but if I ever need like black dye, definitely more convenient to get it this way than waste wither roses. Not sure if there are any other good sources of black dye, honestly. I didn't realize they were being removed from the mob cap in that way. I knew they were like messing around with the mob cap, but yeah, I forget what the exact changes were. All that. I know they're like making the game check more often. You know, that the world's actually at the mob cap. I guess there were issues with, like, you know, the game actually having more mobs than it's supposed to. Ah. One of the interesting changes, like, I thought was, that they're going to make it so mobs can't spawn on wither roses anymore, except for wither skeletons. Which, kind of sucks for my, creeper farm, but would technically be a good thing for the wither rose farm itself. Because we don't have to deal with other mob spawns that way. Or for the wither skeleton farm, yeah. No, not the wither rose farm. There's a lot of small changes in the most recent update. I forget exactly what was in all of them. Yeah, I mean, the creeper farm would just be a little less compact. I would need, like, a separate way to kill the creepers. I'd probably have to incorporate cats into it. Have like a killing pit that they all fell into or whatever. It's pretty convenient just like being able to put down a rose and kill whatever mob walks into it though. Oh, they don't have to have work. Oh, I didn't realize that one. That's gonna be nice. My inventory is about full. What's the Y level? Still a little ways to go. Could have brought another shulker box for all these materials. Zero lag, can hold it. There we go. I say we'll have to go down to Y42, but we will have to go a little bit deeper than that. Down hoppers and such. Which hoppers? There's kind of a lot of hoppers up there. Oh, the ones connected to the shulker box? Because I have a sorting system. Like, built into that one. I have like a big bulk, like sorting area for just like general materials, you know, stone, dirt, and whatnot. Things I tend to get a lot of. Also, another side note, I said that the tree farm, like the base module was working fine, but it really doesn't. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's like different about like my design from like the original, but I occasionally get an issue where I'm like growing trees. Well, certain kinds of trees, like oak, where like they actually have branches to them. That like the branches will spawn like behind the pistons while they're extended. It completely breaks that. Oh yeah, I mean storage systems are pretty easy. Like once you know the basic design, you know, make a bunch of those in a line. I would really like to see Carsworth do that with Bark and Bob Place. So, like seeing that room full of the chests seems really unnecessary. Just like awkward finding what you're looking for. Not sure what the impulse item sorter is. I mean, there's just like a general... I mean, there's several different item sorter types. But you know, unless you're trying to sort like non-stackable items or items that like only stack to 16 or something like that. Like, there's like one general one, like it's like the regular full stacks of items. I pretty much use for everything. Hopefully I don't run into a cave. Don't really think about that. I have a lot of mine shafts always underneath where we are. Been watching some of my favorite streamers all doing Sev Tech. Know what that is? The mod pack where you like progress through ages. The average sorter. Yeah. Probably that then. I don't know. Yeah. Like, initially, I wanted, like, to just do vanilla. You know, there's a certain challenge. Understanding, like, the core game mechanics. Being able to make machines, like, just using the core mechanics. But the more I see, like, these modded, like, Minecraft games, the more I want to try them out. It's a little harder to, you know, do multiplayer on typically, but adds so much to the game. You can use Minecraft for, like, what it ought to be. You know? Basically, like, a game engine. You know, for a completely destructible universe. Do D&D type shit and what have you. Your fantasy realms, whatever you want. My inventory is full again. Alright, we're down to 40. We're 2 blocks under. Alright. So this is where our cutoff needs to be. We'll go down. See. There are 4 blocks, I think. Be good. We have spots for our hoppers. Yeah. I mean, like, there's a lot of cool, like, machines and stuff you can do. Like, I'm more interested in just, like, the world building potential of this, you know? Like, oh, you could, you know, have a mod that adds in machines and turrets, but, like, I mean, what about a mod that, like, creates a whole new realm, or, you know, all these creatures and enchanted rings and things like that. Things that are actually immersive. that make you want to roleplay. I haven't played too many mods, but I've seen a decent amount of gameplay of them. A lot of these feel like they should be their own standalone game. Alright, that should be up. Cool. There. Cool. Walls look good. Yeah, right. Go clear out our inventory. Probably turn this guy off now. Yeah, he's nice and full. So much stone. Probably overflowing my sorting system with stone, honestly. Add more chests. The rest can go into order, though. Yeah, oh, you're good. You know. Yeah, I'm not so much interested in things that make it easier, per se. Like, I still want you to be able to, you know, craft anything and farm anything you might want. But, yeah, I do really like these smelting mods. And let's just, you know, metallurgy. Where, like, the act of creating armor actually feels more like it does in real life. You know, it's obviously still more streamlined than, like, actually making armor. But, you know, they feel more... it's more along the lines of an actual process of doing these things. Hopefully I have enough hoppers for this. We will find out. Turn all this into paper. Yeah. Also, I don't think I showed off. I do have a little map right here. Cool seeing my place from above. A red outline. You need to put on like markers and stuff where everything's located. For new people coming through. That'd be fun. Should grab some more chicken. Yeah. A lot of the world generation, like in general for some of these mods, is really cool. Like, you know, Minecraft terrain, it's come a long way. It's just like the default terrain, you know. But, like, it really doesn't have just, like, I don't know, a realistic sense to it. The biomes are kind of cramped together and not always shaped in a way that makes sense, but, like, some of these... yeah, so some of these, like, modded, like, world gens are really, really just interesting to look at. And in many ways more realistic than, like, you know, regular Minecraft. I missed a slot here. That one down. I will actually need to select a spot to collect all the ink sacs. I'll probably have it be over here. Have a little elevator goes down. Slightly outside of the biome area. So this will be our spot that we will leave open. Mark it there. Oh, and there's those mine shafts. Wow. One block off from hitting that. Surprising. Alright. Right. Mark it that way. So we'll just put ourselves down. Let me go and clear my inventory one more time before we do this. A lot. I see the dirt in there. Right. So this isn't actually going to be a super efficient farm. Just because of how the water mob cap works. Yeah. If you want an efficient farm for ink sacs, you generally want to just plug up every water source in the area, you know, between these Y levels. That way you don't have any fish or squid spawning where you don't want them to. But I like all of my waterways that I have currently, so, you know. It's not like I'm trying to get a ton of ink sacs off of this. Just like having a basic stream would be nice. Dupe dead bushes. See, can't you buy dead bushes from the trader? From the wandering trader? I don't rightly recall. We can have this going a little ways. That'll work. Our ending spot. We'll have the hoppers all lead into this. Now, they seem to spawn pretty commonly in mesa biomes, I find. Which, you know, mesas aren't super common, but then of course you get them in deserts. Yeah, you get like fields of them in mesas, my experience. Yeah, I guess there is. Oh, I know at least there was a duping method, like exclusively for servers that you like need 2 people for. But you know, I know it involved a donkey and something like that. Yeah. not sure if that actually works still or not. Of course, you don't have enough hoppers. Why would I have enough hoppers? But yeah, at least we can plot out the basic shape of this. So, squid farms are a little annoying. They require a lot of wood. Yeah. Yeah. I know there's also like a duping method where like you just like have an item circling through like a dispenser and hopper system, and you just like grab it out at just the right time. Crap like that. Like I would like there to be a duping method. I just don't want it to be like a dumb duping method. You know, something you can like sort of automate would be nice. Now let's see, what would be the best spot? So assuming this is a waterway. There. And there. Alright, so that's going to be the level where we are going to have water. Leave? No? One too high. No, that's fine. Basically, it's going to be a grid waterways. Yeah. It's like a history of 2B2T. I need to watch. I've just seen a few like videos of like the structures people have built and whatnot. All the destruction from griefing. It'd be a lot easier if these were facing the same direction. I hate it when these face like different directions. Actually, I do want these on this level now I think about it. It's going to be an even layer. Here, and then we'll put the grid on top of that. Which hopefully this meshes out well enough. I mean, I'm just going to use like a floor of fence gates. I'm going to get back on top of these fence gates here and start building from there. Oh. See if I can get them all facing the same direction. That'd be nice. That. Yep. Try and make it look nice. Eventually these will all be open. Suppose it might be that I use here to use scaffolding. Now, one of the things from 2B2T that I saw that I really liked was I like the Psycraft guys went on. I believe it was Ilmenko personally who went on and made a ice highway in the end. Which, since it's in the end, it won't ever melt. But just like, you know, and he's, you know, in a server of chaos like that. Going in and making something good for the community that anyone can use. Really cool, in my opinion. And this one will actually not have. I hope I have enough fence skates. This is gonna take a lot of fence skates. Like other designs where you can use like call it sugar cane. This is what we're going with. Feels weird. Weird that I can stand on top of these. Oh, maybe. Oh, I thought those kind of just full blocks. Never mind. I didn't think you could fall through them when they were closed. Well, I mean, it's synonymous a lot of ways with real life, you know. A lot of ways it feels like a social experiment, I guess. Like, if you go on a world where people don't have to play nice, where people can do terrible things, will they still choose to do those terrible things? Will they choose to be shitty people? It's like that time I went on to an ARC PvP server. You know, soloed and wanted to see how nice people would be. It's how cooperative they would be. Even though they have the option to PvP, like, ultimately the purpose of the game is what you make of it. There's no reason you necessarily have to PvP or be an asshole to other people. So we're gonna make scaffolding there. Work with. Make some more hoppers later. God damn it. Down. Nope. Fell through again. I mean, on one, I do get that. Like, it would, like, kill a certain desire to create. But for me, there's also a desire to create in spite of that. To create something that inspires people to not destroy. Create something that makes people want to be good people. Because, like, in spite of all the chaos, you know, like, there are still a lot of really cool structures that have stood the test of time. You know, maybe they were destroyed at some point, but people kept remaking them. Most people would just, you know, leave them be and have them be sort of just a sight along their journey. Like, why would you destroy a work of art when you could instead just appreciate it? Something so rare, something that would take that much effort. what joy you get out of destroying it would be like nothing compared to just joy having it around, you know? Right, so might be a grid of waterways. There will be spaces like this. Basically, one block in between. Yeah. So that. So this block won't be occupied by anything but air. But this one will have water in it. Sort of an alternating grid of air and water. Like that. Just mark out the ones that will have air in them. Torches, I think. Lose track. Ultimately, this won't have a lot of spawning space in it, unfortunately. But since we'll mostly make this deep, should add a little bit more to it. Yeah. Discussion earlier sort of reminded me of... I forget which group it is. It's some group of monks that commonly makes sand art. Basically, they use colored sand and make a lovely picture. You know, they leave it around for maybe a day or so for people to appreciate, and then they, you know, let the sand blow away. It's a hard, like artistically, that's a hard thing to subscribe to, you know. You want your pictures to last most of the time. Kind of reminds me of Picard, honestly. I don't want to spoil anything. You haven't seen Picard, but no. All things end, all things fade away. There is an element of beauty in non-permanence. It's everywhere. Right, let's see. Over here, that's gonna be a water spot. That'll be a water spot. Alright, so this will just be a line of water. Then we will have torches in between on the same line. Basically, it's going to be a series of water columns with empty space in between those columns for the squids to fall down and die. How to get it all marked out is the hard part. And again, it does take a dick ton of wood. Which honestly might take me another couple sessions to gather enough wood for all this. I do have a decent amount of storage. I might go maybe a bit more than what I have. Alright, that looks good. So from here, should actually go grab some ice. I don't think I have a ton of ice in storage. It's been a while since I've mined ice. I just packed ice. Alright. Let's go mine some ice. Hardly ever use this thing. A good way to make a bunch of water source blocks. They don't need those rails there anymore. I'd end up having to use buckets for the rest. For later builds. I mean, I guess I probably need to spend some time duping more sand. I'm going to need a fair bit of sand. Although, now, I do need to check about sand, though. Because there was recently a mobile sand duper that someone made that I need to check if it actually works, like in Realms or not, but yeah. If that works, then I do not need to get more sand. Besides that, I think I'm pretty good on materials. I was thinking over like a couple other house designs I could make. I got like 2 more slots up there. Clear it out. I extended the road a little bit, you probably saw. Like, gonna have 1 house here, 1 house there. Yeah, I'd appreciate a little bit more sand. I have like a few shulker boxes full. It's like on hand. Cool. Yeah, like, I'm thinking like these other 2 houses. I want to make one sort of like redstone oriented. You know. And then one like ice house. Like, oh, what the hell? How's there a creeper here? Where did you spawn, sir? Damn it. Huh. I thought they dropped 100% of the blocks now. You only dropped 1 stair and all of that. Only TNT? Oh. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Whatever. You'll have to find where the dark spot is. They are not supposed to be able to spawn. 5:15. Is light level really 15? I guess it's kind of the dark spot down here. Probably where he came from. Everything up here should be good. Also want to like build a diner right here. Yep, that'd be nice, you know, just having automatic like cooked chicken farm or something here. Base built in the sky, just out of glass. Ah. Yeah. Sky bases are cool. I don't think I have any spare of those sitting around. No, it's just cobble. Always love some tree houses. Concept that never gets old. Appeals to the child in all of us. Let me double check nothing else was lost in that. That looks good. Yeah. One thing you realize how important just like having all your practical stuff right next to each other is. Hate having to run back and forth between places, having to pick up items. I am so heavily focused on just like compacting everything. Want everything within this 100 by 100 block as much as possible. Like a few farms I have to go off-site for the creeper dying in there. Yeah, that's definitely been like one of the more awkward parts of watching streams of Minecraft. Like, I watch them while I'm playing Minecraft, and so you hear all the monster noises. Don't know if they're coming from your end or theirs. So, basic idea here. We're going to make ourselves waterlogged oak signs sealed in by fences. Which, you can't just jump on top of those, can you? No, it's gotta be difficult. Nah. Like, I occasionally play him without sound. But, like, so often, just, like, sound whoring is, like, crucial to gameplay. So, while it's, you know, more peaceful to play without sound, you do generally end up having to turn it on. At some point. So, your waterlogging source blocks here, because squids can spawn inside waterlogged blocks, but regular fish can't. Put down the sign second. You could use like any waterlogged block here, and these squids would be able to spawn in it. You could even like waterlogged stairs. The squids would be able to get in. But signs are just you know, easy for them to move through. If you didn't put the signs down, then this would also be able to spawn fish and drowned also. I'm not 100% on the drowned or not. Got to put it downstairs. There we go. Lid. Heat. I hate putting down signs in mass. A little bit annoying. But they really just work best in this scenario. Sure. Oh, put that in after the ice. Yeah, I figured that one was coming up. Like, I try to explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it. And that's the more useful way of doing things. Would be nice if the stack size were a little bit larger for signs. Got the sign we dropped. There we go. Go ahead and reorganize this. There. Brain should process that a little bit easier. Sign, then ice. Or gate, then sign. Gate, then ice, then sign. Right. And... is that the right Y level? Yeah, that's the right Y level. Okay. So we can actually just open these all up. Oh. Let me think about this. Right, just open those up like this. A little bit easier. Alright, now just continue the process. This one. And that should have a torch in it. Not want water there. Okay. Design. 8. We'll have to gate up this side. Nice. Sign. 8. Nice. Sign. 8. Perspective always messes with me in these. Not sure if I'm hitting the right level. we'll just go till we run out of materials. Which I probably don't have enough of all this stuff. These skates up. So much wood. Wish so much that the wood farm actually. Probably a simpler design I'll end up going for. Not as cool. Okay. Now I just gotta open these all up. Oh, process. Hate having to open all these doors. What version is 2B2T on? Do they stay up to date, or? 1.12? Okay. Yeah, no. This time we will have to make lines as we go. Starting to run low. I mean, I wouldn't say it couldn't be griefed. It might be harder to notice, you know, being underwater. I'm sure there's already a lot of underwater bases. Generally, the strategy, you know, to avoid being seen. You don't want to be griefed. No, I mean, you couldn't just, like, drop TNT over their heads. Or lava. But, you know. If they knew where your base was, there's really nothing you could do to stop them. Most you can ever do in games like that is inconvenience your opponents. Well, I mean, there's other ways to grief besides blowing things up or covering the lava. Simply taking your stuff and destroying your items. There's always going to be a section of your base that will not be underwater. Always been in the air dome, what have you. Well, you see, there's still machines and farms that you would need to have with air pockets. I mean, griefers aren't rational people. Typically, at least. Destroy things to destroy things. Because that's how they get their kicks. How they get the rush. All they have to do is steal your conduit, and then you're griefed. If anything, you've made it simpler for them as long as they know where to find you. Imagine having an underwater base, and then having your conduit taken away. What then? Good luck finding another conduit. Sure, there's like a gold rush stage where everything is taken. Now you see, obsidian is merely an inconvenience. You know, everything's destructible, aside from bedrock. And even then, there are methods to get through that. The main concern is just making it inconvenient enough that people will be deterred. Simply that way. It's like that game Last Oasis. I don't know if you've seen any gameplay from that. Basic idea is that you have a giant mobile fortress which functions as your base. And the only reason why people don't, like break open and steal from those is because in order to break into them, you need particular like charges and weapons to actually break in. And those are expensive. So it's not worth breaking into random people's stuff unless you know there's something good inside of it. You can't just do that all willy-nilly. It takes time to farm the materials to break into things. I mean, doesn't take all that long to get through Obsidian, if we're being honest. Hell, when I played Ark, like, it would, unless you had the right weapons, It'd take like an hour to get through a metal wall. But people would still do it. If you're not around to stop them, and they have enough time on their hands, people can get through anything. You could try to hide the conduits. I mean, they would know it's there because they'd have the effect. And if anything, that's like the treasure they would want most of all. Conduit. On a crazy free-for-all server where materials, things like that are very hard to come by. I'm sure if they could spot, like, the effect radius, they could figure out approximately its location if you did have it hidden. Of course, I'm sure they'd spot walls of obsidian. And know where to find it that way. And at the same time, you would have to take the time to mine out the obsidian to put it there in the first place. It's only as inconvenient for them to break apart as it was inconvenient for you to put together. Hell, if anything, it's more convenient for them to break in than you make a big old wall. They just need a 2x1 hole to get to it. You have to surround it by all sides. Is there an easy way to dupe conduits? I certainly haven't heard of such a thing. Aside from like that donkey method or whatever. Assuming it still works. Yeah, that's I'm sure that'd be the worst part, is like actually finding one to begin with just the mad rush of people all after the same things. By the time most people actually get on the server, I'm sure most of the materials would be gone, and the griefing would already begin. I mean, new chunks. How far do you have to go to actually find a new chunk? How do you know if it's a new chunk? Takes a lot of time. But, you know, it's the real secret to games like that. Not about having the most stuff, necessarily. It's not about being the best on the server. About lasting the longest. Always a long con. They can kill you as many times as they want. They can brief you, take your things. But at the end of the day, if you're still there, you have not lost. Like we're just about out of materials, it seems. Time for some FTL. Yeah. You know. Gotta find a new chunk and then have it happen to have a buried treasure somewhere nearby. Of course. It appears to be the correct level. Have to make our way back down. Well, so that is 3 towers out of the way. I will have to make myself some more fence gates. A lot more fence gates. But I'll take care of all that off of camera. Just off to mine some more eyes as well. I'll get all this into a box for later usage. But from there, we can at least get the base down for the drowned farm, which will probably occupy the same area, honestly. The drowned farm, however, will be much higher up in the air. So right about here is where the drop down will be to collect from the squid farm. We will have drop down for the mobs. Drowned farm. Right about here. That should work fine. So this will essentially be similar to any other mob farm, where you have a shaft they all fall down onto. I will want this back a little bit now that I think about it. Well, not necessarily. We'll have this be the drop-down spot. As the idea is, we're going to have this or 20, I believe it's 24 blocks, 20 to 24 blocks, I think, for mobs, for hostile mobs. Currently at 81. About 100. I might change this out from stone later on, but this should do fine for now. Stone is just kind of my default scaffolding right now because I have such a surplus of stone. Come up right behind the portal. Four. Right. Yeah, you have a good night, Mr. Slurp. Get the basic platform down for this guy. And I will need more fence gates for this. This will do for now. And check that I'm inside the biome. Mark out basic space. So essentially the plan for the round farm is going to be, this is going to be a platform that all of the ground will fall onto, and above this will be a column of water blocks. Actually, it's going to be water source blocks at the top, and it's just going to have, you know, it drain downwards. And then, you know, a small ceiling right about here of fence gates, which once the drown go through those, they'll land on this platform, and we'll have ourselves a turtle egg that they will all walk towards. Then just fall down the shaft where we can finish them off. Well, you can get some loot from killing drown automatically. The only loot worth getting from them, you have to get manually. And I will have a little set of dispensers actually at the top, so that I can turn the farm on and off as I please. So they'll dispense the water and then pick the water back up, so we can turn this off once we don't need any more drowns. There's no reason to fill up the mob camp. Mobs we aren't going to kill. One thought that kind of amused me. You know. So I'm not entirely sure the way this works on the server. But, you know. Since I have most of my area very well torched up and few mobs actually able to spawn, means that most of the mob cap is taken up elsewhere. Anyone else playing on server will be having more mobs to deal with as a result. If I understand how the mob spawning works correctly, which I might not. Not sure if that's all shared or if you have like your individual mob cap. Feel like it ought to be shared. So I know it does like increase per person. And again, this is not a super wide area, but it will be quite tall. Whereas the squids could only like have a column of like 20-ish, from 62 to 42. Yeah, 20. This can be all the way up to ceiling the world wanted it to. That's all river. Huh. And the cutoff there, isn't there? The section of river. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, this will be our platform. Make a... we'll expand this out a little bit further. Not 2 blocks wider. Have it so that the ground can only fall within this area. I suppose, for simplicity's sake, yeah, different materials differentiate. Of course, I will need more fences for that. Regular stone brick should be fine. sure that platform's properly lit. About 2 wide space over the wall. I suppose I will need slabs for that. Now I think about it, might be a good idea to build the floor of this out of glass, just so you can see all the ground coming down. Probably go back and do that later. Leave the wall out of stone, though. How much of those? Okay, that's fine. I prefer falling. Yes. I prefer not having a safety net. If I mess up, that's on me. Learn lessons the hard way. Otherwise, you just don't learn it as well. Mistakes have to leave a mental scar as a reminder. And I have those, of course. Great. Time for bed. Back, go. Flatten that out further. That's a good enough spot to start. Just needs to be wide enough so they don't, land out of space inside of the water column. And so they can't walk out of here, because that would be annoying. cut the corners. Look a little bit nicer. Should be adequate. Good idea. Here. Now slab it up. Don't get spawns up here. Also, that's going to be the level at which we will have our fence gates. I suppose it doesn't have to specifically be fence gates. These signs. At any rate, from here, they can make this about as tall as we want. I don't believe there's a height limit. Just want to have a nice column where we can put our button. About here would be good. I am going to have redstone coming all the way up to the top so I can turn it on and off. That'll work. As I recall, the drowned cannot spawn in waterlogged blocks like squids can. I'm not sure if fish spawn in this. I don't believe they will. I think fish have to spawn in full blocks. Could be wrong about that though. $165. Probably should have brought a few more blocks along. We'll just go till we run out of materials. That should be adequate. Pull this back up again. Cover all the river area. A little hard to tell at this altitude. by matching what's on the platform below. So glad we have F3. Makes things so much simpler. Even if you have the general knowledge how to optimize a farm, unless you have these specific details about biome, it would never. Yeah, I am a little bit further off. Oh, they don't have any kind of F3 equivalent? I suppose that makes sense. Of course, there's a lot of things that suck about Bedrock in general. Always go with Java if possible. I'm not. I need to look up like the actual reason Bedrock exists at all. I understand it's Microsoft, like intended specifically for Windows or whatever. I don't know. Guess they want to make sure people were playing on Windows rather than having, game anyone can play as long as they have Java. Yeah, for the consoles. Which, yeah. Playing a game like this on console just seems silly. I remember one of the things I laughed at back in the day was they had StarCraft for Nintendo 64, I believe. Like, I love StarCraft, but trying to play that with a controller seems like an awful time. So many games are just essential to have a keyboard with. Keyboard and mouse. Yeah. A lot of more casual stuff that it can be nice to use a controller for, but so much you cannot do unless you have, at least not do well, if you have a keyboard. I remember I believe they like made a Command and Conquer game, like some kind of Red Alert equivalent for a mobile, and it just looked like stupidly oversimplified. Oh yeah, I don't know. Might not be that one. What I do think was really cool, ages ago, I heard about like a Red Alert type game for VR, which sounds super fun to me. It's like being able to like visually hover over all your troops, move them around that way. Love to try that out sometime. Always tempted to get VR. There's only like a handful of games not for VR I would actually ever play, to be honest. It's just that. Cover that all up. This will end up having like a lip that goes further out, just to ensure there's a low light level within this space. But with the rivers all marked out like this, go back and put the dispensers with water buckets in afterwards. And then those will stream down here onto some fence gates. The ground generally wouldn't move around too much. They should stay within the water columns for the most part. Until they get out here. And then I will have an egg sitting just right here. Spot where they can't reach it. And it'll have to fall down through that hole. I might move the hole further back that way. So that all the drown landing on here won't have to get through a sidewall to get to it. Not super wide, but will be pretty tall. And most of the spawns around here have been protected, so I won't have to worry about, you know, other stuff taking up the mob cap. Yeah, it's the general concept. Another visual oddity. Another farm added in. I will have to go... I don't know. I might make a second map. I kind of want to keep this map. Just like... now, because I am planning on still making like a tree overhead. So... like, that's actually going to cover up a large section of this map. So if I keep this old map, I can mark down, like, where stuff is at, and not have it be covered up. As, like, the tree is pretty much just going to cover this whole farming section. Maybe a little bit larger. Hopefully, yeah. I don't want to start on that giant tree until I can get a fucking wood farm that actually works. Oh, hello. You have taken damage from something. That's concerning. But yeah. This is the current state of the wood farm. Just had branches spawn behind the pistons while they're extended. So, like, you know, slime blocks got caught out of place. You know. I've seen it like this once before. And I, like, reset it. But, I mean, this would still work for anything other than oak, I think. Definitely work for spruce. And, what you call it? Birch, yeah. Spruce and birch are always, you know, nice and uniform. So I could probably still use this for that, but I'll probably just end up tearing this down, honestly. There's like another simple design, but it's not as fast that I could do. Oh. There's not really any way for a pillager to get in here. Probably just a dark spot. Probably just up on these trees or something. There's a lot of machinery in here that something might spawn on. Of course, I will eventually have to move the dog pen. These guys have been stuck underneath the tree farm for a while. Not that I have a use for dogs anymore, really. Hello, kitty. But yeah. Of course, if I'm really feeling crazy, you know, I could always make like the truly universal tree farm. I can also handle like the 2x2 trees. But that's fucking massive. Like, you know. Much slower, of course. You can't have like this nice compact like smashing machine. Actually, I have to have just like a big old flying machine push the logs out. But, I don't know. Really wish this worked. Like the pace of it. But yeah, I think I will call it here, though. I'll go ahead and finish up, like, at least gathering the materials for this off camera. Don't know if I can actually finish it, like, within the next day or so. It's gonna take a lot of wood. But we have the bases down for both these farms. I have a non-zero amount of sacks coming in. I suppose next time we'll probably work on these houses or the diner. Kind of debating what style I want to do the diner in. Maybe something like Dot's Diner from Reboot, or like the diner from Gravity Falls or something, yeah. Some classy old 50s diner. 40s, 50s. Yeah, I don't think I showed. I did reduce the cost of these. If you are interested in purchasing. Much lower than they were. Place is just about ready. Start bringing in new people. If we, you know. Because that does depend largely on James. Hopefully James takes interest again. You know, we get some new folks. Keep holding out for Hard Light to come on, but... supposedly, Brew's computer can't handle Minecraft, which is unfortunate. Not too many other Legs players about. We'd be down for this. Fortunately. 20 squids. But yeah. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you next time. Have a good night.